My journal reflection for this week cover a few patients that I have the chance to use CBT therapy recommendation and along with motivational interview. So I have a patient that has depression and related to underlying condition hypothyroidism. The patient has a history of hypothyroidism, which wasn't handled very well by her PCP, and in consequence, she developed depression. So I have a chance to treat that patient with SSRI and along with CBT recommendations. That was a very interesting case. I also have an Alzheimer patient that was very interesting also, that have depression and anxiety. She wasn't that old, she was in her 60s, but she has early Alzheimer. And when she's in a good moment, she has a good memory. That's make her fall into the depression and she's become very anxious. So she's been treated like for depression and anxiety, and also with Namenda for the Alzheimer. I also met a new diagnosis that I never met before. Schizoid personality disorder is one of really, I know the diagnosis, but I never really experienced in patients like with that diagnosis. Particular patients only have one friend. He got promoted at work into a position that require more interaction with others, but that make him very anxious. That was a very fascinating case. And he couldn't handle like the fact that he has to meet with a lot of employees meeting, so that make him very anxious. Of course, his deep anxiety GAD was almost 18 over 21. So he wasn't suicidal. He didn't have any thought of suicide, and we had treat him for the anxiety. And also, I also have another fascinating case also, that was an OCD patient. I met OCD patient before that, like frequent hand washings, like repetitive movement. That particular patient had a repetitive movement, but mostly repetitive words and thought. That was a very fascinating case also. And also he's a perfectionist. He take 15 minutes to write one sentence, and his problem at work that is related to his performance. He was referring by this job actually to therapists. He's a good employee, but however his job performance like is getting low. But he thinks he's the most productive person than any other, so that in the world, that he's thinking. So him also was referred to group psychotherapy, and been treating also on SRI. So I feel improving every week in my clinical, and getting more comfortable to complete interview and collect data. I have the chance to use a motivational interview with my OCD patient and my schizoid patients, and I have the chance to use a lot of open-ended question, and so and I learn about specific diagnoses. Some of them are evidence, but some of them are not. So that's what happened for me on Unit 9. So it's almost over, and I'm happy that I'm learning a lot. That was a very good class. So I look forward to have my last video on Unit 10.